joining me. This is Anna from Craft Me a Card, and I'm crafting for the crafter, and that is you. With all this social distancing, there are so many people that we are missing in our lives. And I thought this would be a cute card to send to one of those important people in your lives that you just haven't seen for a while. I love cactuses! There's so many cute puns that we could do with them. And as part of the Blank Page Muse design team, I'm going to share with you guys this cute card featuring a stamp from Blank Page Muse. And this is one of the stamps of a set of 3, and it's called Potted Cactus and Succulents. And I'll go ahead and link everything on the description box below. The first thing you need to prepare is a piece of white watercolor paper, and you want it to be watercolor. We're going to be using watercolor markers. And if you don't have watercolor markers, don't worry. You can always use just watercolor paint. We just want to give it that deserty feel that cactuses have. Go ahead and take the watercolor paper and cut it 1/2 inch smaller than your card base. These are the other 2 colors we will be using. This is just to match that cactus feel. And first you're going to take the craft color cardstock and cut that to the size of your card base. Next, take the olive color cardstock and cut that 1/4 of an inch smaller than your card base. Just for you to understand a little more, I have jotted down here the sizes. So you have your card base size, then you have 1/4 of an inch smaller, that's going to go on top of the card base, and then 1/2 an inch smaller than your card base is the white watercolor paper. This will give us a nice little border around our card. Next, we're going to be working on the background for our cactus. And I got these Arteza watercolor markers on Black Friday, so I got them for a pretty good price. But if you don't have watercolor markers, use whatever you have on hand, whether it be watercolor paint, distress ink, oxide ink, alcohol inks, pattern paper. Anything you have on hand will do great for this cactus.
So many possibilities.
Just go ahead and pick some greens, pick some browns, think of desert, think of cactus. Prepare some water. You're going to need a little bit of water. Scribble your paper or apply the ink to your watercolor paper. Soak up a brush with water and go ahead and go over it. And this will smear or smudge the color everywhere, giving it that hazy kind of look. Go ahead and play with it. Have fun with it. Tweak it if you need to. Add more color here and there, whatever you feel is best. You could let it air dry, or impatient me, I used the heat tool to it just to help it dry faster. Okay, now this is ready for our cactus. Just go ahead and stamp your image onto it. Try to center it. I use some VersaFine black ink. I just really like it. And after you're done stamping, don't forget to clean your rubber stamps. There are different cleaners out there. If you use Stays On ink, there's a different cleaner for that. And here's a little tip for you. I was going to throw this t-shirt away that my husband had, and I felt it was the perfect material because it was like polo material, which didn't leave any lint behind. And I couldn't give it away. I didn't want to give it away or donate it because it had some splats of bleach. So I just went ahead and cut it up, and now I clean my stamps with it and my desk. So think before you throw. So y'all know I like to use the inside of my cardstock that's not going to be seen. So what I do is I print the sentiment on this piece of cardstock, and I cut it out with my X-Acto knife, just using a ruler and the X-Acto knife. And yes, if you haven't guessed it already, I would love to do voiceover. That is one of my dream jobs. So thank you for letting me have a little bit of fun with it here. And I go ahead and I place the sentiment at the bottom of the card. I want this cactus to feel lonely. And I just flip it around, I bend the edges, and I add glue to it. And I don't add any glue to the front of the sentiment. And this is so it can just lift up off the page naturally. Next, our front panel is now ready to be glued on to the second layer, and that's this olive green cardstock. And just go ahead and add some glue to the back of it and paste it on. This next punch, I owe it to my good crafty friend Rebecca Combs. I'll put her YouTube page in the description box. She found hers in a yard sale, and I found mine on Amazon. What caught my attention to this hole punch is that I like to put something on the corners of my card just to draw the attention all around the card. And I thought this was a perfect way to do so. You just punch it out and you insert the top layer inside these little punches that this hole punch does. Punch, 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 punch. Excellent for masculine cards or for a simpler card like this one. I forgot to add some glue to it, so I just went back and I added some glue to the edge of the olive green layer. Okay, now that we have this layer complete, we are ready to add it to our card base. So bring in the card base, bring in the glue, and go ahead and glue it on to the card base. You can go ahead and finish the card however you would like. I wanted a little bit of glitter on this cactus, just the top part of the cactus. So I added that. And since we're talking about being lonely, I thought something that would mimic a teardrop would be clever. So I went ahead and I added some clear Nouveau drops. I later went in and I added some blue Nouveau drops because once it dried, you couldn't really see the Nouveau drops on the white cardstock. So this will complete our card for today. Quite simple, but yet it says a lot. And not only does the sentiment say, I feel lonely without you, but the whole card in itself is very indicative of it. You have the cactus, you have the teardrops, and you have the simplicity of it. So it really does convey the message of being lonely, but yet in a very nice way, if you will. So I just wanted to share with you guys this other card that I made using a different pun and a different stamp here. And this one says, life sucks without you, just how you would spell the beginning of the word succulent, right? And all of these puns are so fun to play with. So that brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you get inspired. I hope you create, but above all, I hope you are happy. Thank you so much for joining me, and I invite you to please subscribe if you haven't already done so, like and comment, and hit the notification bell so you could get notified every time there's a new video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Crud! It's not moving. This paper is not good for watercoloring. Mushrock! Dang it! Just ripped it. Darny warny, it's too tall. Oh yeah? You're gonna go in right on my surface, huh? Right on my card. No you don't, mister.